Welcome to the Smart Dating Academy podcast. I'm Bela Gandhi, the founder of Smart Dating Academy and your host. I started Smart Dating Academy in 2009 because I had this crazy knack of giving people dating advice that actually worked, that I took. I've been married for almost 25 years, and now my company helps people to date smarter and to find love. This podcast is meant to bring more love into your life, no matter where you are and what you do. And we're here to bring more life into your love. Smart daters, welcome to this week's episode. And this love story of my friend Kathy is I'm going to use a term that she just used in our pre-session, kind of inspire the pants off of you. Not literally, but I'm going to tell you why, because Kathy has found love, and she is 71 years old, and she lives in a place where you wouldn't think that that was the case. Kathy came to us, and she's going to tell you her story of how she found love at her age. And I just want you all to hear her story, because for those of you who need hope, who need some psychotic optimism, who tell yourselves, man, there's nobody left at my age, or I'm too old, all of those mind monkeys, I'm bringing Kathy on here to dispel all of those bad monkey mind thoughts. So Kathy, welcome to the Smart Dating Academy podcast. I'm so excited to have you.
I am too. Thank you, Bella, for having me on. I appreciate that. I'm honored.
Oh, you guys. And I just want to tell you, listener, to know Kathy is to love Kathy. She literally had me at hello the very first time. And when I first met Kathy, I'm going to put that in quotes. How did you hear about us, Kathy?
Well, actually, you were on the Steve Harvey show years and years ago. That's where I first saw you. I have been stalking you ever since. You didn't know that, but I didn't. I have been stalking you and listening to you, and your words stuck with me. And over the years, and I did finally took the plunge and did the Over 50 Love Lab, and that's when we actually met.
That's right. We met, but I have to tell you or maybe it was, yes. So we met when you did our Love Lab workshop, Dating After 50. Yes. And then you told me that I've been on your Instagram lives, which most of you know, I did Instagram lives religiously every Thursday during COVID for, I don't know, almost 2 years. And Kathy told me a funny story. She's like, you may not know me, but this is who I am. Tell us the story of your IG handle.
My IG handle is Kathy. And my mother could never, my sister's name is Patty. My mother could never get our names right. I'm Kathy. My sister is Patty. So that's what, and the funny thing is, I do the same thing with my children and grandchildren. So don't laugh too hard. It happens to you.
Oh my gosh. Yes, and I love that. Yeah. That is hilarious. My parents did that as well with Ravine and Bella. So it was like, Bella, right? So it's so funny. So Kathy was an OG member of the Instagram family, chiming in, did our Dating Over 50 Love Lab. And then tell us your story of, what inspired you. And I also want you to kind of maybe tell us your backstory. Tell us how you grew up, getting married, what happened, and how you ended up at that Love Lab.
Well, I met my husband at a bar.
The good old-fashioned way.
The good old-fashioned way. That's what you did it back then. And he saved me from some drunk, actually. And I thought, oh, my knight in shining armor. And we dated for 2 years, got married, because that was the thing you did. That was my background. I grew up in an Italian, I'm of Italian descent, and family, and married, and kids, and I did all that. And fast forward, we were going to retire. We had the kids. We had a retirement house. And he had retired early from his one job, but was too young. And so he took another job, but that required travel.
Got it.
And so he would go back and forth between East Coast, and we had a place in the Southwest. And things got kind of rocky, but it was, I thought, like any point in your marriage, you're going to work it out. Things will work out. And I thought they would. And I decided it was Mother's Day, and I thought, he's not coming home. I'm going to go surprise him. And I knocked on the door, and she answered. And I found out he had been living with her for almost 2 years. And I say that, and when I say that, people go, you didn't know? I didn't have a clue. I wasn't thinking like that. When I think back, were there clues? Yeah, there were. But I wasn't thinking like that. I was a stay-at-home mom. I didn't have a career. That was my career. My husband, my children was my career. So when he left, I was left with nothing.
Wow. I have goosebumps.
I was actually, he left. It was just before the holidays, and I had $400. That was it. That was all I had. It's gonna make me.
Oh my God. I have goosebumps on my arms.
I had $400. I had to borrow money. It's gonna make me I had to borrow money from my daughter to hire a divorce attorney. It was very humbling. To say he cut me off at my knees is an understatement. But I will say what I told him is that if you think I'm going to curl up in a corner and die, it ain't happening. And it didn't. I can't tell you it was easy. It wasn't. It took years and years, but here I am. And I do believe you go, and when it happened, a friend of mine said, this is going to be the hardest thing you'll ever do. You're not going to be the same person. You'll get through it, but you're not going to be the same person. And she was right. You're not the same person. I think I'm a better person. And I think it happens, I think there's a plan for you. I think I needed to be a better person. I would have preferred to have done it a different way.
Right.
Right. Yeah. And I lost a lot. I lost my family. I didn't just lose my husband. I lost my son. So I have lost, my holidays are not the same. Birthdays, it just all changed for me. And I had to change my perspective. And it wasn't an easy thing to do. It never is. But you do what you have to do and you go on. And I felt I felt I needed to be a role model for my grandchildren and for my daughter. That you never know what life is going to hand you. But you pick yourself up and you get through it. You do what you have to do. And I really felt I needed to do that. I had to show them that you don't let life get you down. You're better than that. You're stronger than that. Wasn't easy, but again, here I am. And I'm in a much better place. I'm happier. I didn't realize how unhappy I was. And I can't blame my ex completely because it takes two. It takes two. I made mistakes as well. And you have to own up to that. You can't just point the finger. You have to own up to that. It takes two, but here I am. Here I am. That's all I can say. Here I am, and life is great.
Here you are. And
yes,
I love hearing these love stories, even though we've worked together for so long, because there are things that always come out in these conversations. And I don't know that I knew that you had $400 and how, how low the low really was, which is sort of amazing because, they always say things can always be worse and things could have been worse.
They could have, yeah.
But that's pretty bad. And to see you bright, shiny, and here telling your story, tell us flash forward, what year was it that you got divorced? And then flash us forward to last year.
Oh, geez, it's been about 9 years. We separated, the good Catholic, you don't get divorced. And so I thought, well, separation. And it just, I kept getting taken back to court. And it's like, you know what? I need to sever this. I just need to move on.
Yeah.
And so, I was kind of dating for probably a good 9 years and thought, what am I getting wrong? I mean, I would always do my hair. I always had makeup on. I always had ear. I never went to the grocery store without looking good. People seem to like me. And yet I would go on dates and the longest relationship I was ever in was a year. And he was a great guy. He just wasn't the guy for me. I couldn't seem to connect with the kind of man I really wanted. And I thought, I got to be 70. And in life, how you hit milestones and you sort of sit back and take stock.
Totally. Those 0 birthdays are a big deal.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Bela, I still don't know how my name and that number got to be in the same sentence. I still don't understand that. But
you don't look anything, whatever goodness. You imagine 70 to look like. You just need to take a look at the photos that are on our site of this gorgeous woman. But I stand that she's amazing. She's #goals for 71. I want to be.
Well, DNA plays a
lot. You got good genes. So those Italian genes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Thank my mother for that. Anyway, 70, I kind of took stock and thought, gee, what do I have left here? 10, maybe 15 good years. I'm talking good that you're healthy and you could travel and still anything beyond that is a bonus. And so I thought, listening to Bela and thought, you know what? I am going to invest in myself. And I thought, this is my last shot. If I can't do it now, then I guess my ex, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm not so lovable. And maybe this is how I live my life. I live my life alone. I didn't want to, but I thought, but I was going to give it a shot. And a year ago, and in fact, I saw you had posted, somebody had just had their photo shoot. And I thought, that was me. I had my photo shoot October, I think it was the 5th. Yeah. 4th or the 5th. I think it was October 5th last year. I thought that was me 1 year ago. And how my life has changed in 1 year. I never would have believed it. Never. I still don't believe it. I'm amazed. I'm amazed. Anyway, I did the photo shoot. I kept putting it off. Oh no, I gotta lose 30 pounds. I got a million excuses. And you and Eileen kept saying, no, do it.
Do the shoot. Do the photo shoot.
Wait. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? And then even after the photo shoot, I kept, no, I can't. I kept. And then I thought, what am I waiting for? What am I waiting for? Tick tock, And I did it. And my problem was where I lived, there was nobody around. I lived in this little town and it was a distance from everything. And you kept saying, they'll come. And I do also remember Steve Harvey way back saying, if a man likes you, if a man wants you, he will go across the country to see you. And I had that in the back of my mind. And when I did join Smart Dating Academy, I had that sliver of hope in the back of my mind. I was pretending to be psychotically optimistic for you.
You did it. You had me at hello.
But I did have my doubts, but I hung in there. And, you know, you don't want to get online because there's that rejection and there's, to go through it all. But I did everything you said. I followed, you sent that makeup video. I changed my makeup around. I tweaked it because I always wore makeup. I always did my hair. I always dressed up. But I tweaked things. And we were picking out outfits for the photo shoot.
Oh my God.
And I remember I had this outfit on. And you said to me, that is really cute. But I have a question. Are you going out with your girlfriends or are you going on a date with a man?
Did I really say that too? It sounds very much like me.
Well, you did. And I thought, oh, you're right. I got it. As soon as you said that, I got it. And you kept saying, show your curves. Men want to see what they're getting. Show those curves.
She's curvy and gorgeous.
Oh my gosh. Well, I didn't feel like it at the time, 30 pounds, 40 pounds heavier. I sure didn't feel like it, but I did what you said. The point is I listened to you. I did what you said. I got those curvier clothes. In fact, if you remember when I had the photo shoot, I said to you, can we Photoshop these pictures? And you said, no, we don't do that. No, no, we don't.
We do not Photoshop at Smart Dating Academy.
No.
It's the first act of self-sabotage, right? First of all, she's beautiful. And probably like you, dear listener, you think, I'm too heavy, I'm too old. And we see through all of that and we see the beauty in you. And we certainly saw the beauty in Kathy, who thought she needed to be Photoshopped. Anybody listening to this, you don't need to be Photoshopped. No. Maybe a couple of tweaks here and there. Get your berry lip on, get some clothes that make you look like you love yourself. You're going on a date. And when we talk about curves, we're not talking about, we want you to look hoochie hot mama.
No,
we're saying we are pretty, we are sophisticated, we are elegant at Smart Dating Academy.
Exactly. And I still remember that. It's when I go out, it's wait a minute, who am I going out with, Ruben, or am I going out with, and where am I going here? And so I remember though, I like, you shoot from the hip and I like it. It kind of sticks with me. Yeah. So,
right.
Anyway, so I did that. And, when you get older, dating is different. I say dating when you're 60, in your 70s is different than when you're in your 60s. I don't know where it makes the change, but it does. I jokingly say I date in dog years because it's kind of accelerated. It's sort of, I don't think you still don't know exactly what you want. You think you do, but you're really not. But you're very clear, at least for me, very clear on what I didn't want.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the tall, handsome, worldly, successful, and you think the package is what you want. And it's not necessarily that. And you guys taught me, expand it a little bit, just a little bit. And I did that. I listened to everything, not only listened, I did everything you said to do. And Eileen was my coach, and Eileen, sweet, patient Eileen.
Everybody loves Eileen.
Yes. And she guided me through, do this, do that. Anyway, fast forward in January. And the one thing I did do is video dating. I did do the video, and that I cannot recommend that enough. It is a game changer. It really, you send texts and email, and the written word can be misinterpreted.
Oh,
I find when I speak with someone, you get a different sense of them. When you do video, it's even better because you see them in 3D and it's like, oh yeah, I can see how they look like that picture. It's a better sense of them. And I did that. And it really eliminated a lot of these older men. Oh my goodness. Oh, I don't know how. I got to have my son show me. I had my grand. And I would say, it's not that hard. I'm not tech savvy. I could walk you through it. And I thought, you know what, if you don't even want to put in the effort, you're done.
you're
And
done.
so it eliminated a lot of people for me. So that part was good. Anyway, along comes Ruben. And what I did is I tweaked my age. I was going for older. I was going, I think, for 70 to 76 or something like that. Well, you know, some of these older men, I swear I could hear the feet shuffle. You know, that old man feet shuffle. I swear I could hear it. It's like, no. Or they'd say, you know, I had a stroke, but I'm doing really good. And oh, man. Or, you know, one guy, I even had, oh, my goodness, one guy had to have his teeth. He had his teeth taken out, but he got on a video with me with no teeth.
Oh my God. Aren't you glad you did the video, right?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine that? It's like, this is your best foot forward. Oh no. Anyway, so I tweaked it to a little bit younger. And there was Ruben. And Ruben's about a year and a half younger than I am. He's still in his 60s, and he reminds me of that. I do have to say. He's learned not too often, but he's about a year and a half younger. Anyway, he got online, and you and Eileen kept saying, somebody will, because I kept saying distance is a problem. Nobody wants to travel. I'm a couple hours away.
And that was the story you were telling yourself from day one. There are no people. There's no people around here, and no age appropriate people.
Right.
And so you started to see, even before Ruben, you were getting, once you improve your photos, you improve your profile, you have someone helping you, you started to build a funnel. And people sometimes, I have 55-year-olds telling me, I'm too old for this. There's no good men my age. I'm like, oh my gosh, there are so many good people out there. We just have to do a bunch of things right. So you started to see this funnel of people in your state.
I did. And you know what changed too is the type of person, because before it was, I like hunting, and it's like, oh Lord, you know, I'm hunting, and I like hunting, I like fishing, I live in my RV, and it's like, that's all good, but that's not me. That's just not me. I'm not that I haven't done that, but it's just not me. It's not what I wanted for my life.
You're a classy gal.
Well, okay, I'll take it.
Take it. Take it.
I take it. Anyway, and I was finding different men. I was finding different men. And distance still was a problem. It was, and it eliminated some of the men, which was okay, because you know what? If I'm not worth the trip, then goodbye. You know, then you don't get the privilege.
Absolutely.
Anyway, along comes Ruben, and Ruben had this. We kind of text back and forth, and I learned, you text back and forth just a couple of times, then it was, hey, do you want to do a video? And Ruben was something new. Yeah, let's try it. And before I could even explain to him how to do it, he did it. He did it. He called me. And I thought, I like that he was open to new things. He just had an energy about him that I really liked. And so we started doing these videos, this video dating. And we did that several times a week. And I know Lindsay always said, don't do more than 20 minutes and be done. Well, Ruben and I would talk never less than 2 hours. The time just flew by. What I did do is I don't know if you know Arthur Aaron. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, the questions, the 36
the questions. Ruben and I did the 36 questions. And it really created such conversation. And we really got to know one another. So that when we met, and we did video date, we would have wine, let's have some wine and and appetizers. And we would have dinner. Remember Lindsay saying that? We would have dinner. We just had fun dates.
And this is before you ever met in person. All of this was happening in person. You did. And for those, if you're listening and you don't know who Arthur Aaron is, it's Aron. And he is very famous for saying, if you ask these 36 questions of a romantic partner and then stare into each other's eyes for 5 minutes, and there's a series, I'll post the questions in the show notes, but it's really interesting. And it's amazing that you did that before you met for the first time. It's amazing that you suggested it and that he did it. I love how he showed to you, like you're saying, this desire for growth, change, and development. Yes. I will vibe check you. I'll call you something new. Yeah, let's do the question.
That's exactly.
Yeah, let's have wine and appetizers. And it was, I'm going to use my favorite word in relationships, easy.
It was, he is easy. He is. And he's open to new things. When I suggested, because if he didn't want to do the questions, I wouldn't have done it.
Sure.
But it got, it's funny, as I said before, I hadn't dated in 42 years. And when I was dating, then you go to a bar and the question was, what's your sign? Well, as you get older, the question then becomes, are those your teeth? It changes.
Hey, baby, are those your teeth?
Oh,
I'm a Pisces, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so we did these questions, and you kind of know the person. You learn their values. You learn their core. You learn who they really are. So by the time we met, and we did it for about 3 weeks. So by the time we met, we knew each other. It was different from any other date that I was on. And Ruben showed up and he had a dozen yellow roses for me.
Oh,
because that was friendship. And he said, I'm giving you yellow roses. They signify friendship. And I'm hoping they change. And every time I saw him, I got roses. And as our dates change, and he would come and he said, oh, you're only 2.5 hours away. That's nothing.
Oh, did you hear that? He was 2.5 hours away in a rural Southwestern state. So 2.5, it can take me 2.5 hours to get from the north side to the south side of Chicago on a Friday afternoon when the Cubs are playing. So here, 2.5 hours. How many miles is that?
Oh my gosh, that was like 300. He was in a different state. He came from a different state. 2.5 hours, that's nothing. And I thought, Bella and Eileen were right. Steve Harvey was right. They were right. It was like, oh, that's nothing. And he would come, and every time he came, I got roses. To this day, I get roses every week. Oh. Now they're red. Although this is a kind of a side thing. I had said to him, my favorite color, my favorite flowers are really white. I love white flowers. And I get white roses now. Oh. There are always fresh flowers in the house, always to this day. Anyway, so Ruben comes and we just hit it off. I mean, he just, it was like we knew each other. It was so, he's easy. He's just easy. And I guess what I really want to say when you asked, to do the podcast, I guess when I started, there wasn't anybody out there my age. There were women in their maybe late 50s, early 60s, but there wasn't anybody in their 70s. And it's really different in your 70s. It really is. Even 70 to 75. Oh my goodness. The difference in men is like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And I wish that there was somebody out there. So I guess I'm out here to say, don't give up. There's a lid for your pot. There is a lid for your pot. You just listen to Bella. She knows what she's doing. Oh. Just listen. Just it works. It works. And I didn't change myself overnight. I didn't, like I said, I've always done my hair. I've always worn jewelry. I've always dressed up to go to the grocery store. I tweaked myself. I put my best self forward. I was missing. I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And Bella and Eileen showed me. So listen, it works. It really works. Get your funnel. Do their tricks. Do the video dating. It is a game changer.
Have a good mindset. Tweet.
Believe it.
Get
Just
new photos.
Get the photos. Oh my goodness. God. What a difference that made. What a difference that made. Just those little things. Here I am a year later. Ruben and I are together. He asked me a couple months ago to move in with him. I feel like this has gone, some people have said, don't you think you're going too fast? And again, I say, well, first of all, we're dating in dog years. So there is that TikTok. But also it's, I think, I think by 6 months, you kind of know, you know. And he asked me a couple months ago to move in with him. And he is so sweet. He asked my daughter for her blessing.
Oh my God. I'm full goosebumped. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, how, and you guys dated, granted, we dated in dog years, but
we did.
But you followed the rules. And even when there were speed bumps, you could navigate through those speed bumps,
yes,
which happen at any age. You had a surgery. And
yes.
What happened? What happened?
Well, I had to have my hip replaced. And, and I had said, listen, you know what, you need to back away, stay away for 6 weeks. You need to just, I think I was pushing him away and I kept doing it. And he kept saying, no, I want to be there. And finally he said to me, you're not allowing me to be your partner. I want to be your partner and you're not allowing me. And that really took me back because I thought he's right. You get the good, the bad, the ugly. That's the reality of a relationship. And the funny thing about it was, okay, fine, you do it. And he was there. He would be there during the week. He would leave on the weekend to go to his house and, we got to maintain it. It was in the summer. And what happened is it actually drew us closer because physically I was kind of homebound. So we had to sit there and we had to talk and we had to have conversation and we got to know each other even better. So it's kind of funny. The thing you fear the most can actually be to your benefit. And I kept pushing him away and nope, wasn't going to do it. Wasn't going to happen. And he didn't. He's been there every step of the way.
I love
the good thing about Ruben is he's taught me how a relationship should really be. I mean, we have our disagreements, we have our arguments. It's not perfect. I am, but that's a different story.
I can vouch for your perfection.
Yeah. But the thing with him, and he taught me, I didn't know you could disagree without it being this full-blown argument. And when you have the conversation and you resolve it, it's gone. It's just gone. And I never knew that's what you did. I just, before, when you had a disagreement, it was always such a full-blown argument, I would try to avoid it. That doesn't work. That doesn't work with Ruben. We have, we something happens that we don't like it. I mean, just the other day we had a disagreement, but we sit down and say, I don't like that you did that. I don't like how you said it. Okay, all right. And we resolve it. And then we move on. So he has taught me that. We also, we're committed to make this work. He was in a 32-year marriage. I was in a 40-year marriage. And so we want a relation. We don't want to go through that again. And we go to classes. We go to classes every Tuesday night. We go how to be a better partner. I think we're the only ones that aren't married in this whole thing. We're the oldest ones, I think, and the only ones not married. But we have the experience to know what not to do. We may not know everything to do, but we're committed to make this work. And I'm amazed that I was able to find a man like Ruben. I have been looking for a man like him for 10 years now. And I did I kept missing the mark. And thanks to you, I did it. I found him. And he's not in the package that I thought he would be. You want tall and dark. Well, I'm 5'4", so, even 5'6" is tall for me. But Ruben's taller. And I was always looking for, someone tall and who would protect me. And, this big guy. Ruben isn't that. I mean, he's just average. He's trim. He's in shape. He's 5'10". And yet I feel very secure and protected with him. He's not the package that I would have thought I wanted. And yet he is the one. And you guys taught me that. Expand your horizons. Just expand it. Just tweak it. Just that little bit. And the funny thing is he did the same thing. He was looking for, he didn't have 70. He had 60s in his, and he tweaked his to include 70, and there I popped.
Wow.
And actually, he was the one that contacted me, and I won't ever let him forget that.
Absolutely. It's like
but he did. Yes, but had he not done that, had I not lowered my age, we would not have crossed paths. We may not have crossed paths. So it's those little things do matter.
100%.
Yes. Yes.
And we were so fortunate, number one, to be able to help guide this relationship along. And there are people that have no red flags, like Ruben. You didn't have butterflies in your stomach, right? No. There weren't anger and stonewalling.
No.
And even though we date in dog years, it's not too fast and furious. And even though he gave you flowers every week, that's not love bombing. This is someone who showed up and wanted to do something nice for you.
Yes.
And was seeking love with you. And something you told me in a conversation recently is that touched my heart, and I want it to touch yours, dear listener, is you said, Ruben makes me feel so good about myself, and he makes me feel smart.
Yes. Yes. You know, we're involved in different things. He's on a board and things come up. And in my past, in my marriage, I was made to my opinion. I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't, I wasn't worthy of having an opinion. Where Ruben seeks me out. What do you think? What do you think of this? Or he asks my opinion. We have conversation, and I hear him talk to other people, and he'll say, "Oh, Kathy is so smart. Kathy this, or wait till you meet Kathy. You will love her." And I hear him say this, and I think, wow, I haven't, I didn't realize in my marriage, I wasn't hit, I wasn't abused in that way, but I was made to feel small. I was made to feel less than. I didn't matter. And I didn't realize it. You learn to shrink. And I don't have to shrink with Ruben. I could be, and that is one thing after the marriage that in therapy, and, therapy helped too, is I learned I got my voice. And that was one thing I was not going to give up. I found my voice, and Ruben allows me to have my voice. And he makes me a better person. He really does. We're good for each other. We have each other's backs. We, it's, we have, the children. You would think adult children would never be a problem. Oh my goodness.
Boy.
Oh my goodness. They can be. It really is difficult. And, Ruben has my back. If you don't include Kathy, then you don't want me.
Amazing.
And yeah, so and we're there for each other. And I didn't think I would ever find this. I didn't think it was there. I thought, really, when I thought Steve Harvey and you guys saying, oh, people would travel, I thought that's for the younger people with a career, professional people. I was a stay-at-home mom. That wasn't me. Yeah, you meant me.
Oh.
You got to believe it. It's there. You just have to keep plugging away. You get the rejection and you just pick yourself up and you go on to the next one. Say, okay, fine. Then you know what? You have to change your way of thinking. You don't look at it that I'm not good enough for them. You have to think they did you a favor. They did you a favor by eliminating themselves.
Exactly.
Yes. Change your perspective.
One of the things I know when we worked with you and on your marriage map contract, because you're one of our one-on-one clients, I put this phrase in saying, I want him to like you just a little bit more.
Yes.
Than you like him. Like you're 51 and he's 49. And what you're saying is exactly right. That if they choose to not message you or eliminate you, well, they didn't hit our rubric. So goodbye to you.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. They did me a favor.
They did me a favor. Bless and release. Bless and release.
Exactly. It's still, it gets, sometimes they're hard hits.
Yeah.
But, that's life.
That's life. And
that's life. Yeah.
And you are so different, right? Like you said, you emerged from your divorce a different person.
My goodness.
And you emerged through dating as a different person.
Oh my goodness. I also jokingly say there's a lot of frogs out there, a lot of frogs before you find your prince, but he's out there. He is out there.
And what would you tell people that think I'm too old? I'm in my 50s, my 60s, my 70s. What would you tell them?
I would tell them, believe he's out there. He or she, they're out there. You just have to keep the faith as they said back in the day. Keep the faith, baby.
Keep the faith, baby.
You have to believe that you're worthy, because you are. You are lovable. You're just not finding the person. It doesn't mean, it has nothing to do with you. You just haven't found the person. And, maybe you need to tweak things, and maybe you need the professionals to come in. You do it for everything else. So why not for that? If you go to the makeup counter and you tell the girl, do my makeup because I want to look better. Well, how is this different?
Yeah.
I'm missing the mark on dating. Help me. What am I doing wrong? Coach me.
Yeah.
So do what you have to do, but they're out there. And you just, you don't get the brass ring every time you go around the merry-go-round. Sometimes you have to go around a few times, but you get it. And you keep trying. You keep putting yourself out there. And it's not easy. And as you get older, I will say it's, I don't want to say slim pickings, but it's different. It is different. It is different. And I don't know when it happens. I don't know when that transition happens, but it does happen. And, like anything in life, you just make those side steps and you just move along.
And love will come to you. It always does. It takes time. For some of our clients, it's taken 3, 4, 5, 6 years. For some lucky people, when the universe also says it's your time, he entered your doorstep, halfway through the process. And for that, there's powers beyond all of us that help that to happen. And so, the universe said, Kathy, you've got to do a couple things. And you knew to take actions. You knew, I'm going to change things. I'm going to do this love lab. I'm going to get some coaching around there. And you listened to that voice inside of you, because I wouldn't have known, and Eileen wouldn't have known, and you wouldn't have known that 2.5 hours away, hundreds of miles away across the state line was the lid to your pot. And I've had goosebumps, literally. I'm going to have like some hot cocoa after this, because everything we're talking about has given me goosebumps. You've inspired me. Thank you for sharing your story. Whatever age you are, my friend, if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you feel like Kathy felt. You feel like when there's a 0 that gets put at the end of your age, things are going to change. The pickings are going to get slimmer. I hear this from people that turn 30, 40, 50, 60, and 70, right? There is no cliff, right? It is so much of this is also the story that we're telling ourselves. So if you are inspired by this, I'm telling you, love exists for you. Kathy is screaming from the rooftops. Love is out there for you. And I hope that you're as inspired as I am to do the tweaks, to make the changes, to get the help, to do whatever it is you need to find love. And do you have any parting words of inspiration or wisdom for our listener?
Just listen to Bella. Just hang in there. Hang in there. It, as Bella said, when the timing is right, it'll happen. But you got to put yourself out there, and you got to be willing. You have to be willing to do the work, and it falls into place. It just happens when you least expect it, and in a package you didn't know that you wanted. And there it is. It's amazing. I'm in awe. I can't believe it. I pinch myself, and I will forever be grateful to you and to Eileen and even Steve Harvey for giving me inspiration. And if I could help anybody in their 70s, hang in there. hang in there. It will happen.
Hang in there. And for those of you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and you think you're too old, she's saying, hang in there to all of you. What would you tell them? Are they old when they're 30, 40, 50, 60?
Oh my goodness. I have a coffee pot. I have a coffee pot older than that.
Kathy, I can't wait for you and Ruben to come to Chicago, and we're going to have dinner and we're going to toast to your beautiful love. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being my friend. And you and I feel like we are friends. We've been friends. Maybe we were connected in another life, but I'm so glad that our paths are crossed. And I know that we will have dinner and appetizers in person, or hell, we can do a video date with the two of you and me and Andy.
How's that? Well, we're going to travel more. So yes.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you. And dear listener, I hope that you have as many goosebumps as I do right now. And I hope that you're feeling the hope and the psychotic optimism to make some changes and to know that love is out there for you, no matter where you are, rural or suburban or urban, what part of the planet you're on, it doesn't matter, but believe in your heart that love will exist for you, and it does exist for you, and keep doing the things and fighting the good fight, and the love will come to you. We promise it will. And in psychotic optimism, I leave you with a giant hug, pink sparkly wave of my wand, and until next week, we'll see you later.